Greetings, EricTheCarGuy here. Hi. The other day I was watching some videos, because I watch them besides make them, and from time to time I watch somebody called David's Farm. He was doing a video on flushing out your heater core. He put a lot of good tips in there, but he didn't actually go through the process of doing it. Well, it just so happens that I have a vehicle here today where I think that the heater core is clogged up with stuff. Now, the first thing we want to do anytime we're performing a repair on a vehicle, step one, verify the complaint. And also perform at least some rudimentary diagnosis. Don't just throw parts at things, expecting things to get fixed that way. That's just a really expensive way of going about diagnosing. The heater's on. I know the car gets warmed up to temperature, but I've got some cold air coming out of the vents. And driving this thing around is not fun in the winter months, so we need to figure out why. In this car, I've determined that, okay, there's probably something going on with the heater core because everything else seems to be functioning the way it should. Something that Dave pointed out as far as flushing the heater core is that you want to make sure that you back flush it. In other words, you want to make sure that you run the, I'm going to use compressed air in this case, the opposite direction that coolant normally flows through it. And the reason why is because it's always going in the same direction. If you're trying to break something up and get it out of there, you want to go the opposite way, knock it loose. Step one, locate the heater hoses. These are the heater hoses going into the heater core itself, into the firewall. Now, I noticed when the engine was running that this lower one was the hotter one, so that is the inlet. So what we want to do is we want to force things through in the opposite direction. If you try to get a pair of pliers on these or anything like that, you have a high probability of damaging these connections at the heater core, and it's a lot easier to perhaps either cut this and peel it back like an orange, or and then cut that bad part out of it and then reinstall the heater hose. But I'm going to take this one step further. If you follow these hoses up, look at that. They come right up front here to some really easy connections right here, and I'm going to be replacing the thermostat anyway, so why not take the hoses off here instead of down at the heater core. My floor is already a mess, but I'm going to put something underneath here anyway to catch any of the coolant that's going to come out. I'm going to start by removing the clamps, which simply enough just slide back. Now, if these don't want to slide back, I spray them with a little silicone spray. There you go. These are hose pliers. I got them from my tool supplier. They're specially made for doing exactly this. You may not have these special pliers. You may be able to use, or you can use regular pliers to do this, but just be careful. Don't damage the tubing and try not to damage the hose. For demonstration purposes, I have an old windshield washer jug here that I'm going to insert the hose into. And the first thing we need to do is get out all the old stuff, because I'm going to put a certain product into the heater core itself to hopefully eat up all the gunk that's in there, and let that sit while I replace the thermostat. So now the outlet becomes the in, the inlet becomes the out. There we go. Dave had what I considered a good idea that I want to improve on just a wee bit, and that is to use a pair of vice grips to crimp off the air hose and use just a regular air chuck that you see right here in the end. The improvement that I made is I took a couple pieces of fuel line and put them on the end of my pliers. That way I don't really hurt my hose that much. But the next step is to wrap the end of this in electrical tape so that it fits the orifice more snugly. We need our orifices to fit snugly. We're going to do this by using electrical tape. Try not to use cold electrical tape. Let's check the fit, shall we? Ooh, that's nice. Can you see my, yeah, you can see it. Well, I guess I gotta hang on to it. 'Cause I can get nothing out of here. Can you see the antifreeze? Tastes like maple syrup. Give me a moment. Flushing heater core, take 2. Now that the compressor quit running, let's take a look at what we got. Yeah, this is why I use this clear jug, just so that we can see the kind of junk that we're talking about here. Okay kids, if we've learned anything, throttle. Throttle. In other words, just let a little bit of this air come out at a time when you do this. Or else you very likely will get a face full of antifreeze. For step 2 of this operation, trying to ensure we get as much of this out of here as possible. The recommendations were bleach, oven cleaner, which was down at the bottom of the list because that's kind of dangerous. But I'm going to try this product, and I'm just going to put it in there and let it sit while I'm doing the thermostat. We want to make sure that we're higher than our core with both hoses, and I'm going to pour into the out. I have this nice funnel. I'm going to loop this one up underneath the windshield washer wiper, and I'm going to pour my product right into here. To make sure that this doesn't regurgitate, I'm going to use those same pliers I used on that air hose and just let that fester. Move on to the thermostat. Thermostat's installed. Now it's time to rinse out our heater core, reconnect the hoses, and see what we got. First I'm going to put my jug back in place. This is the in. This is now the out. Then I'm going to take my hose clamps off. And I'm very gently going to release the pressure. Next up, I'm going to go through the process of rinsing out all the cleaner that I put into the heater core by dumping water in, running compressed air through to get it out, and I repeat this process about 3 times. So, and obviously dumping out the excess. Then I'm going to top off the coolant. I'm going to use my spill-free funnel here. You can find these online under spill-free funnel if you want them. I think it's a great tool. I use it a lot. Top off the coolant. After you top off the coolant, you start the car, turn the heat, or turn the fan off, turn the thermostat up to hot, and then come out, top off the coolant again, and then raise the RPM to about 2,500 RPM. Now to tell the tale as it really happened. If you find yourself in a situation with this car or possibly another car to where after you go through all this trouble, get coolant in your face and all that kind of thing, that you still don't have heat, hook everything up, take it out, just floor it, and just someplace safe, please. Don't hurt anybody or yourself. And see if the coolant suddenly goes through the heater core and starts cycling through. And once this happens, check it again, top off the coolant, and away you go. But right now, I got beautiful heat in that car. As you saw, there was a lot of stuff inside that heater core. A couple of things I'd like to note. Dispose of your coolant properly. Don't dump it down a storm drain or something like that. That's not cool. I don't do it. I have a barrel over here, and they come and pick it up for free. Maybe your local auto parts store or local whatever might have the ability to take in your old coolant, pour it back into the jugs that you poured the new out of, something like that. Just please, don't put it in the storm drains. That's not good. Also, be aware that it's very attractive to pets. When I said earlier it tasted like maple syrup, I meant it. It does taste like that. Sometimes pets will lap up coolant that's laying around and they'll die as a result. So, you know, be responsible with this stuff. Stay dirty, obviously, but try to work clean. Aside from all that, once again, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode sometime in the not too distant future. As always, you can visit me at EricTheCarGuy.com. Lots of you have been throwing questions at me, either through YouTube Messenger or through my email or what have you. I do what I can to help you. I may not be able to solve your problem, but I will make every effort to help you. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. You, the viewer, watching me. You watch me, I help you. It's a beautiful thing, all right? Let's help each other. As always, thank you for watching, and stay dirty.